Shalom, 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 shalom. Hey, man, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barakatah. It's your brother Eliezer, man, here back on the scene, man. All praise and glory, honor goes to the Most High God. That's how we started off, first and foremost, because without the Most High and His only begotten Son, for the world called Jesus Christ, without that, we would be nothing and we would be done for. So I hope y'all having a good day thus far. It's late in the evening, as old folks say, the days has ran its course, and so yeah, it's coming up on another Shabbat. I hope y'all had a blessed and prosperous day, and y'all ready to get a Lord some time, get a Lord at your ear. You know what I mean? He done bless you with 6 days to do all your work, to make your money, take care of your family. All he asked for one. That's all he asked for is one day. Let's get that out of the text real quick. I'm gonna start it off with Exodus real quick, because I know we live in a modern day Christian society where we was taught that God's laws is done away with. And we gotta and if you're a Christian man, we need to talk. We need to talk. What does it mean that God's laws are done away with? So this is Exodus 20. And I'm gonna start at verse 8. All right. Since it's the Sabbath, man, so I'm gonna dedicate this text to the Sabbath. Right. This is Exodus 20 and 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The word holy means to be set apart. This day is set apart from all the rest of the days, right? 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt do any work, thou nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy menservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. So the Most High say, man, this is a day the Most High have given us to rest, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. So I hope y'all ready for another great lesson, but it's really going into our brother Killer Mike, man, and it was his TikTok views or about Christianity, the church, and white supremacy, and so we just gonna watch the videos, and we gonna watch it together, and we gonna kind of go over some of the things that he was saying. Do you agree or do you disagree? We're not here to change minds. That's not our job. Our job is to lay out the truth as we know it, and let the truth fall where it may. Shalom, brother Dion and brother Michael. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Hey, shalom, family.
Shalom.
Yes. What's going on, brothers? Akims, man. So we going into this Killer Mike. Some of the things he had to say about the Christian church, and what's amazing about it is I'm kind of conflicted in a way. I'm conflicted in a way because I kind of agree with him, and then I see where he kind of going off. Have y'all brothers seen? It been going viral on TikTok. What Killer Mike views was when it came to the Bible and Jesus and who God is. Have y'all seen the video yet, brothers?
I didn't catch. Yeah, I didn't catch the whole thing. I think I saw bits of it, but yeah.
Okay. And for those who don't know, Killer Mike is a prominent rapper in Atlanta. He was part of the Outkast. Was Killer Mike part of the Dungeon family? I never can remember that. But I think he was part of that Dungeon family. With Outkast, Goody Mob, with CeeLo Green. I think Cujo Goody. I think he's in the truth now. I think he know that he Israel, and he teach that we Israel. Yeah. So Killer Mike is very known rapper in Atlanta, and so he has some interesting views when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to who Jesus is, but we call him Yahweh Shah in the Hebrew, and so we're gonna kind of go into the video. We're gonna go into some some text as well and show you how he got some things right and he got certain things wrong according to the text. All right, and so it's no diss on our brother Killamite, man. He our brother, we love him. We just want everybody to be able to come back to the Most High God and serve him without fear, serving with fear, without fear, serving with fear and trembling, but serving without fear. If that make any sense, without scared to claim him in front of the Gentiles and in front of Israel as well, right? So can I get Psalms 133 verse 1, bro, Baba Kishah, and then we gonna go into the video. I'm gonna cue the video up.
Right. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ornament upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirts of his garment, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Selah.
Selah. We always go into that text, man, because it's always about unity. You know what I mean? I know we have certain doctrines and we have certain things that's going on in and out of Israel, but at the end of the day, we gotta come to one central agreement, and then let God be true in every man's life. Like, we gotta understand God gotta be true, right? No matter how it may hurt your feeling or my feelings or anybody's feelings for that matter, but I could be wrong, but God cannot be wrong, right? So we come in that spirit of brothers coming together in unity, right? So so brother Mike, the whole thing about what do you think about colonialism, right? Right? Like, do you think that because we came here as slaves, right? Because we came here as slaves and we went under chattel slavery and then went under the leadership, if you will. I hate to say leadership because we were slaves, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm.
We went under, being slaves under so-called white people, and so and they taught us, a version of the Bible, and as we read the Bible, it doesn't correlate with it, right? It's kind of like a false narrative of the text, right? So, so what do you think? Do you think colonialism, kind of did have it destroyed us? Any? Because this is what Killer Mike going into, right? The whole whitewashing process and his mindset is. But from your perspective, do you think colonialism destroyed us, brother?
Believe it. It destroyed us greatly because it branded ideology, man, and a doctrine on our brain that our people can't get rid of, man. This ain't a religion. It's a true movement, man. And our people are stuck on that doctrine. We know how we got our last name from the slave master. Also, so-called religion came from them as well. I yield them.
What about you, brother Dion? Colonialism, right? About when we got colonized, right? With the whole whitewashing during the Renaissance and before the whole 325 AD. We went into the councils and stuff. Do you think does that play a part or role of how people think today? Right? Does that have any effect? Do you think slavery had any effect on not only just religious, but not only religiously, but I'm just saying the mindset of our people? Has that played a role in that? And what's your perspective on
Khan, I believe it definitely played a role. Our people have always, needed a leader, needed guidance, and they not 9 times out of 10 they took the wrong guidance because they were given plenty of mighty signs of what to do and what would happen if you do this. and told what would happen if you don't do this. So there was given choices. He as far back as when Moses gave him. I think it's Deuteronomy 11:26. It said, I give you. Like, matter of fact, let me just get that real quick.
Okay. What is that, Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy 11:26. It reads, "Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day, and a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord." So, um, I think people as a whole want like the easy way out. They really don't want to, work for it. So back then, when they was given these opportunities to worship idols, not necessarily seeing the results. I mean, the works of these idols, but they still, I guess, they figured it was easier, uh, and it was a little harder. You had to have more discipline to do what the Most High God said. So they took the easy way out, and colonialism. When we got colonized, it gave them even more reason not to serve the Lord, because they gave them. We got white Jesus, and we got a whole nother doctrine, and a whole nother Jesus that we wasn't our ancestors never knew. So it definitely affected us, but I think we was on a path to destruction anyway. So but yes, it indeed affected us in a detrimental way, in a negative way, and we still feeling the effects of that thing today. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. And so, in other words, we was already on the cliff, but it just pushed us over. Right?
Uh,
We was already on the cliff, and it was pushed us over. So, without further ado, man, I'm gonna go into this Killer Mike video, man, and we gonna listen to what the brothers say, and then I will come in with some comments.
And if you're not Christ-like, you're not Christian.
I don't even know if Christ really exists. But guess what I know?
That's obvious.
I know that the black man and woman, the original people on earth. I can show you that. I can pull up a white folks to show you that. I don't know if Christ ever existed, but I know he's one of the greatest characters in the Bible. He's one of the greatest characters I ever wrote about. So I don't care what color you make him in your head. What I'm saying is, if your master can worship that same Christ and imprison you, and the last person he saved on this earth was a prisoner, a self-confessed thief, being crucified by the state next to him. Why ain't black people in mass working in prison? Huh? If you're a Christian, if you're a true Christian, because the church is not where Christ is. Christ is with the lepers. He's with the sick. I read it. My grandma made me read it from the time I was 5, Bible camp and all that. Then I went to Morehouse, where I studied religion and philosophy. And then I was in the mosque for 12 years. And I I actually took my shahada and I was in the mosque. And I remember when I left, I told my mom, I can't do this no more. He said, why? I said, because it all leads you back to a white man in a dress.
You told your mom that?
Huh? I told my mom that. I had to go. I loved him. I love what he taught me. I love what I learned, but it all led me back to some lighter figure in a dress. Some old long white goddamn dress. So somebody asked me what I said. What are you? I said, I'm whatever African was the day before the first Christian or Muslim stepped in foot. That's what I am. Because there was a whole Muslim slave trade down the other coast of Africa we don't talk about. We don't talk about how them folks got light skin and fat skin in North Sudan versus South Sudan. We don't talk about how Arab speakers came across. We proud to be Moors, but still, the religion was pushed on you and forced on you. Honorable John Henry Clark said that.
Now, if you're not Christ-like, you're not Christian.
Salakia. And so, yeah, so the brother was saying that he studied he studied Christianity, then he went to Morehouse, then he became a Muslim. He studied under the Muslims, you know what I mean? Then he went to his mom and said, I can't do it no more because it all leads to a white man. So what's the problem with that? So what's the, from our standpoint? And first of all, before I even get there, do y'all agree? Do y'all agree with the brother? What are y'all stance on what the brother just said? Any one of y'all, Brother Michael, Brother Dion, any one of y'all. That's cool.
You know,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. You good?
I was just gonna say, I think the brother, Christianity is a hell of a drug, and if that's what they was teaching him, no wonder why he ran from it. And he probably learned some of the history of Islam, and realized that that was a plagiarism religion as well. So until you really ask the Lord for understanding when you reading the Bible, you will never know the true mysteries of the Bible. So that was to his own detriment.
Hmm.
You can't just learn. Uh, um, you can't you can't get out of this with education. You know what I mean? You can't get salvation from in them schools. You're not gonna get it. You have to seek that out yourself. It's this book. This rabbit hole goes deep. You know what I'm saying? And then 9 times out of 10, them folks ain't teaching him who he was. He didn't even mention nothing about. They asked him who he. His mama asked him who he is, and somebody asked him who he was. He said something about the first person, whatever. You know what I mean? He didn't say nothing
Right.
about Israel.
Right.
So they not teaching. They teaching white Jesus. They teaching Christianity. So of course he will run. I yield.
Yeah, kind, man. I agree, man. And we gonna get into the approach IUIC approach with the no, I'm black and I'm black, y'all. And so sometimes, we look at that and we kind of chuckle at it a little bit. Like we chuckle at it, that everything IUIC says is about the skin tone. But then we see a video of Killer Mike who's not aware of the text and have that same ideology that IUIC be trying to chip away. We're gonna get into is it a bad thing? Sometimes they pull certain texts out of context. I will agree with that. But does we understand the methodology? Why is it necessary, or is it necessary? Is it necessary for people to understand who Christ is, who he was, what color he was, to serve him correctly, or does color matter? Right, we're gonna get into that as well. What do you think, Brother Mike? What do you think about what Killer Mike said?
Yeah, just going on what brother Dion was saying a little bit, man. We could be educated in these schools, man, and sound like a professor when we talk, but when it comes to the scripture, we're clueless because it seems like for some reason our people can't tie what we're going through to the scripture. It just it amazes me, man. But that would happen when you're taught by men who ain't as learned in the text as well. Even if they are in these colleges and high schools or whatever, man.
Get back.
But yeah, we got a lot of work to do. I yield.
One of y'all brothers pull me 1 Corinthians 1:19 real quick. We
Hey,
gonna go to the.
Shalakia,
Go ahead.
Shalakia, I just had one more point.
Okay, go ahead.
The scriptures are very dismissive when you don't see yourself in the scriptures. It's
Mm,
easy to write that off as being some mythical story, that somebody told. Once you see yourself and can relate and can basically tie your history back to it, that's then and only then will it become important to you, and you become interested and become alive. The spirit quickeneth once you can resonate with them scriptures.
mm.
I yeah.
And yeah,
Hey,
Tupac had a interesting line. He said that he look at his baby and he see a part of him that always wasn't shady. And so sometimes when you see yourself in something, like for me, once I started having kids, that's what changed me around because I see something that's of me, right, that I had to be responsible for, right? And so does when you see that these are your forefathers, Like we go into the apocryphas and say, well, they canon, like not canon, but really other nations teaches us what's canon, what's not canon, right? But we're not gonna get into that, right? But whatever we've seen our forefathers writing things down to lead back to their people. And we, I was going into Daniels, man. I think on Tuesday we're gonna start Tuesday all the way to the tabernacle. We're gonna start going into Daniels, most high willing, and to see the level of the level of concern Daniel had for Israel, right? And so, yeah, when you see yourself, when you see those your people, I think for me, I think you can take it a little more seriously. Sometimes we take it for granted, but it means a little more to me when you know that's you. What do you think? What do you think, say, brother Mike?
Now, I was just saying, I don't know if the brother, know he was just talking. I heard him mention, you can make Christ whatever color you want in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he know that he probably know he's black, but it states it in the scripture. Christ is a black man. That should be solid enough to stand on and not move. But time and time again, what do it matter? You can make him any color you want. You know, our people seen it in the Old Testament and still didn't believe, man.
Right.
So is that more worse for us?
Yeah, and it's coming from a marginalized people who done been people that is broke like no joke, man. You know what I mean? They, disgusted and can't be trusted. You talk about a marginalized people who done went to over 400 years of some form of captivity, right? And so even the people that got money, they still, and they might not realize it, but they still under some form of captivity. When I was looking at TLC documentary about how they got broke and how they was broke. And then you see what TLC was signed to Pebbles Management, and then Pebbles signed them to LaFace. Then LaFace signed them to Arista, which was ran by Clyde Davis, which was Jewish with the little hat, right? So it's like we still know we know what LaFace Records did in Atlanta, but was LaFace Records ran by blacks? It still wasn't ran by us. Even though all this stuff may seem on the forefront, it may seem like we making progress, but as we take one step forward, we take what? 2 steps backwards, right? So let's get into this next video. Matter of fact, before we do that, let's go to 1 Corinthians 1:19.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 19.
Okay.
For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of the world? Have not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe.
Mm-hmm.
For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness.
Go ahead.
But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God, and the wisdom of God. Because the foolishness of God is wiser than man, and the weakness of God is stronger than man. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But God hath chosen the foolish things of this world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
The water, brother. And so we see that not many men of wisdom is gonna be able to understand the text. And a lot of times, especially in Christianity, it's all about your level of education, how they respect you, Dr. So and so, right? And and it is about a PhD scholar, and we hearken and we gravitate to people because they educated. But the text telling you that God gonna choose the foolish things of the wild of the world to confine the things which is mighty. And that's why a lot of times, even with these people with all these degrees, when they get in front of Israel, they look crazy. When they get in front of, like, even if Israel pulling stuff out of, but they can't deal with it because there's nobody in this text like Israel. Like Brother Phoenix said one time we was talking, we obsessed with the text, man. We got obsession with the text, man. Wake up in the morning in it, go to bed at night in it. We always in the text, and if we're not in the text, we watching some video. We obsessed with the text. We obsessed with the Most High, man. All right, and so it's gonna be hard to deal with Israel because Israel is, man. Yeah, we got a thing like that song. Me and Mr. Jones, we got a thing going on, man. We got a thing with this text, man. Let me get this video.
You believe that Jesus was a white man. Let's do the stats right in the room.
You can't.
Who in here believe Jesus was a white man? Do anybody in here believe that?
I got a question for you.
Thank
How
you.
many people in this room know the Christian church is ran by white people? Huh? I'm not holding that motherfucker up. Hold up. How many people in this room know that the largest Christian church on earth is ran by white people?
Talk about
hold on, put your fucking hands there. Fuck all that fact.
The largest Christian church.
The Christian church is what? Is what?
What's the name of it?
It's the Catholic Church. It's the largest Christian church.
You believe that?
You are a Protestant. A Protestant is the church of protest. Because Martin Luther nailed a series of protests to the Catholic Church. The largest Christian church in the Catholic Church.
Hold on. It's not.
Y'all get happy because you get a black pope, or you had a black pope. Nigga ain't got a black church.
Look it up.
Yeah, that's why I don't try to shame TD Jakes or Creflo Dollars or all these other people. I'm not gonna try to shame them brothers because they can get a few thousand people together or 1 million people together to try to live morally right, to try to help one another. I support it. I'm not mad at it. But anytime you and your oppressor share the same God, and God is showing more favor to your oppressor, that probably ain't the God for you. And he can have it. I'm a Christian too. God bless you. Jesus love us all.
We don't share the same.
Jesus love our master a little too much though.
You don't share the same God, and that's not true.
Well, they misrepresent your God, and we ain't doing nothing to stop it. They misrepresent your God.
The scripture, if anyone reads the scripture, you could easily.
So where your 700 Club at, baby? Where your 700 Club? I want to go save Black Hope tomorrow. Where you at? Now, for real now.
It's like it, man. He said, and I don't mean to laugh, man, but he said, Jesus love your oppressor more than he love you, man. What do y'all think about the brother, man? I mean, do y'all totally disagree with the brother? Is he total left field? Shalom, brother Phineas. Shalom, brother.
Shalom.
So, what do y'all think about this segment, man? The brother said that Jesus loved the white man more than he loved you, man. He loved your oppressor more than he loved you. What do y'all comment on that? Anyone of y'all brothers can speak, it don't matter.
Well, that's what Christianity is set up to do. It's a business. And if you get in on the right side of that business, you can become very wealthy. And, black folks, that prosperity doctrine goes real well with a lot of black folks. And if they don't understand what they're being taught, then I don't think, ignorance is bliss, It's your fault for not knowing. It's your fault for not reading the scriptures. Them cats is capitalizing off of your ignorance. I yield.
All right, what do y'all brothers think? What y'all think, brother Phineas, brother Michael? What do y'all think about the last thing he said? Oh, brother Phineas, just getting on, man. Any other videos you just seen, man? What do you think, man? Do you think did the brother totally off? Do you agree with some things? What you think, brother?
Yeah, I've been here from the beginning. I seen both videos, but it just depends on what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's valuable or not. Like even the whole conversation with where your oppressor has it and your oppressor gave it to you. Like even if we just take that we just take that at a point of, we just take it for how he's saying it, not for what we know, but for how he's saying it. If they did give us the God, right, and they did oppress us and give us this God, then one would have to equate that God loves them more than he loves it. But they were following, if they gave it to us, they were following the God before we were. And so they just blessing us with what they've already been given, if that's the case. Just trying to use the methodology that he's trying to use. But ultimately, if we got to know what the mission is on, like, what is he trying to do? He's saying, hey, man, I wish I could come to your 700 club. For what? Are we just trying to build buildings and, do certain things in the community? If that's what we're trying to do, or are we trying to get eternal salvation? And I think Killer Mike's on a whole path of, financial success in this world and what we can do to better the communities and get ourselves from on the bottom. But the reality is, man, somebody got to be on the bottom. Somebody got to be there. So, we get ourselves off the bottom, then we going to put them on the bottom. Either way it goes, somebody going to be mad and somebody going to be talking the same way you talking about the same text. And not just the Bible, but also the Quran. Look how many people been colonized under the Quran, and they speaking Arabic, and throughout Africa. And not just Africa. Shoot, even in Asia, we seen the Asians changing the Bible. We just seen them doing that and creating their own Bible. So, it just depends on, if you're not trying to get eternal salvation and you looking at that text for something else, then you just kind of out of pocket out the gate for me.
Yeah, Khan. And so, and he mentioned the sub-Saharan slave trade. We speak about that a lot. And we gonna go into in this next clip. He gonna kind of go into no matter what you call yourself. And so, and this is what I'm saying about making the text harmonize, because a lot of times is we only look at the scriptures from a colonizer perspective. We only look at the scriptures. That's why what I'm starting to do is understand the meaning of words and how it was played in the first century. Because sometimes we can pull things from one century to the next, and the meaning constantly changes depending on what century you're in. And so we gotta read the things in its total context, and not just come, have these prepositions, and then our prepositions take the best of us. What do you all think, Brother Mike?
I ain't got nothing to say on that.
Okay, Con, let me pull up this next video, man. He got most. The brother got more to say, man. The brother got more to say. Hold on, let me pull it up. He got more to say.
John Henry Clark said, "The African has no friend." At some point, we got to get past the Christians, or the Hebrew, the true Muslims, and all the Moors. We just have to say, like Elijah Muhammad taught us, we are Earth's original people. That's the one thing I do know. Whatever put us here, put a dark black woman here first, and her DNA made everything in this room. The most powerful DNA in this room is right there. That's what God looks like.
Chastity, stand up real quick. So people
That's what God looks like. So Dr. John Henry
with
Clark
the right
said,
t-shirt on. With the right t-shirt
all
on.
religions are male murder cults. Right? Male murder cults. Because no matter what we choose to think of religions and what's right and what's wrong, if you're not honoring that as first, what do our religions share in common? They warn you about the perils and evils of women. Why? We have asked ourselves why. Why can't something that life comes through be seen as holy? We don't do it. I'm just asking why. Just asking why. Because I don't have the answers. But when you ask yourself why, you'll stay up at night.
I just want to say, not Christianity.
Okay.
John Henry Clark said,
okay, so now he's into, and so that's what I'm saying. He really have a Muslim mindset because he keep referring to Elijah Muhammad, but the woman being God, and so this is what I'm saying. But if you read the text don't really belittle women. It don't belittle men. It belittles those women or those men that's contrary to the Most High. But when those that's living the ways of the Most High, it give them power, man. Right? That's what. Let's get this real quick, and then we gonna can we get into? I get some more comments. I got one more video, then we'll get into the text. Let's get First Peter real quick. First Peter 3 and verse 1. Because when you really read the text don't tell us to belittle the women. But watch this. Watch what this say. And I know Israel don't get into this. No, we talk about how Peter the Rock, but we really don't get into the true origin of the text, right? So let's get First Peter 3 and verse 1 real quick. We're gonna read down to verse 7. Matter of fact, read down to verse 8, Brother Kishai.
It's the book of First Peter, chapter 3, verse 1.
Okay.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Go ahead.
While they behold your tacit conversation, coupled with fear, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of planting the hair and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price.
And see, and what's so honorable about that text is because it's not in the sight of man is great price. It says, which is in the sight of God of great price. Right? A humble and a meek woman. That's in the eyes of God of great price. Right? Let's keep reading. Verse 5.
For after this manner, in the old time, the holy woman also, who trusted in God, adorned themselves, being in subjection to their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well and are not afraid within amazement.
And see what it said? It says, whose daughter you are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. As long as, and I got a lesson tomorrow about work-based salvation. Do you have to do something to be saved, right? Work-based salvation. So it says, as long as you do well, right? Okay, read on.
Verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
So he's telling you, if you do not honor your wife, right? If you do not honor her as a weaker vessel, being heirs, meaning being joint to her, like Adam was to Eve, right? Together of grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So to the Most High, when you don't honor your wife, right? When you don't, give that respect, honor to your wife, your prayers can be hindered. All right, verse 8.
Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous,
Go ahead.
not rendering evil for evil, or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
Go ahead.
For he that will love life and see good days, let him refrain his tongue from evil, and his lips that they speak no guile.
And see, this is still going back to how we supposed to be loving our wives. But I'm a year right there. But I'm just saying, you see the text telling us how we supposed to honor our wives. So when he said that, the text, they belittle the women, yeah, some texts, but these are women who are walking contrary. And you know what's so hypocrite about Killer Mike? And I love my brother, but he had this Netflix special about Black Jesus, and they was going into the script club and having the so-called what he called God on pose. Now let that marinate a little bit. He had his God on a pole, throwing money at him.
Mm.
All right. I don't have no, I love my sisters, but we got to put things in perspective. God does not have any weak points. God don't have minstrels. That's not who God is. That's an unclean thing to the Most High, man. And every woman that has a child, show me one woman had a child who she didn't have, have a dealing with a man. Somebody got to lay that seed there, man. To every ground, a seed got to be planted. A man and a woman need one another, man. Right? So we got to get out of this woman God thing, because women have this thing every month that a God shouldn't have, because it's a sign of weakness. That's why you have them mood swings and you be going through all that. It's that time, and they'll say it's that time of the month. I don't want to be bothered. For those that marry, you know it. You know what is that time of the month. You back up. You back up, man. Everybody know her. She just tripping out. She just tripping. So you know what it is, man. So let's go into the last video. And so we went into this colonization of the mind earlier. The first clip he showed was the colonization of the mind. And so we got this video I want to show my brothers out there teaching this not Ephraim but Manasseh brother. Is it Issachar brother, Shalakia. Issachar brother. And so what the brother said is I'm gonna just let y'all see. Let me pull it up. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna show you what the brother said. And I want to get y'all opinion, and we can get some text and then we'll get up out of here. Let's see. There you go. Here you go.
God?
This person, yes.
Whoa.
This person, yes. Nuns.
Shalakia.
So you love them more than God?
This person, yes.
Whoa.
This person, yes. Nuns was the teacher.
I'm gonna read. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch the first end?
I did.
It just said, "Do you love him more than God?"
Right. I just wanted y'all to hear
So
that.
you love them more than God?
This person, yes.
Whoa.
This person, yes. Nuns was the teacher. I have a lot of friends when I was in third grade, probably about 9 or 10 years old. I'm 42 right now. This one, when she became a nun, it was given to her when she became a nun. I think I like her, and she gave me this to protect myself. Only for that school year, she's supposed to be at the end of the year. She said, "Keep it. It's gonna protect you." You know. A couple years later, she passed away. Something happened with her heart, and she passed away. And it's been with me. I've been living in. I'm from Mexico. I've been living in different cities, and it's been with me about 30+ year old with me, and I've been traveling all over.
So I know it's kind of hard to hear because of the background, but the brother saying that someone he knew passed this image on to him, and she passed away like a year later, and so he keep this image, and you can see it in his hand of Caesar Borgia or whatever image that they got at for this particular painting, but. And so he's going to say he keep this picture everywhere he go. And so this is what the brothers is having this debate with him. And it's kind of like what Killer Mike was saying about the Catholic Church and they reign and they hijacking of the text. We gotta admit that it happens. No, Rome hijacked the text And now this is why we go through all these debates and all this, what color is Jesus, and going to and say, well, that black don't mean black. We going through all this debate because of that part of colonialism. And so we just got to deal with that first. And once we start dealing with what's at hand, then we could be able to have some kind of peaceful dialogue.
Places that I've been going right now, I having a hard time. That's why it's with me in the car, because I'm a good driver. So that's what I have with me, and I don't want to go in the front because a lot of people get offended with different religions. So it's the best way to put it and have it with me all the time and protecting me, whatever I do.
And as you see, that picture means something to him. He ready to cry now. He's very emotional with that picture. It means something to him. It really means something to him. And so this is why, the whole conversation about does this have an effect, right?
Doing every day.
Could he show you really quick? You got your Bible? In my page. He's going to show you about Jesus right now real quick. And so you carry that everywhere with you?
Everywhere.
Yeah, that
dirty.
The brother say he take it everywhere with him. He doesn't leave home without that picture. Right? And before hey, fair use is all on the screen. And shout out to my brother soldiers of Yahweh Shah, out there doing the work.
Plus year ago. Then I was 10, I'm 42, so 32 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
You managed to not lose it or nothing?
Nothing. The only thing they have is this hole, because my father hanged it once, and he made the hole. That was like 20 something years old.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's always going to be with me at the end of my days.
Okay.
I mean, do y'all see how emotional he is about that picture? He's very seriously. He's very emotional about that picture. You look at his face. What do you think? What y'all brothers? Do y'all see how that picture means something to him? That picture means something. I'm gonna go into both of y'all brothers think. Do y'all see the emotion, or I'm over exaggerating?
Nah, he said he gonna keep that thing to the end of his life. May pass it down to his children, like it was passed down to him.
Okay. And so we gonna get back into it right quick. Hold on. Yeah.
So do you believe in the Bible? I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Virgin Mary. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna have a travel in 2 weeks. I'm going to Mexico City to visit the Virgin Guadalupe.
Okay, well, do you know in the Bible that it shows what Christ actually looks like in the Bible? You know that?
I know this is Leonardo da Vinci thing. I know that Leonardo da Vinci. This is designed by.
He said I know it was done by Leonardo da Vinci. He said I know that. He said I know that. I know this ain't real Christ. I know this is not. I know this is part of the depiction. I know where it comes from. This is what the brother's saying.
Leonardo da Vinci, I know how it's not. Probably it's not gonna look like, but maybe it doesn't look like that. But here it is.
He said maybe it doesn't look like that. Maybe Christ don't look like that. But in my heart, it does. In my heart, it does.
Hey, Shalakia.
Go ahead.
Ain't the Northern Kingdom been going through that, having them kind of issues forever since the split. And I see that a lot, even when I go to people's houses, Latinos and Hispanics houses. They have like shrines. It's one right by him on Rockbridge outside his house. He got like a freaking like a gazebo, a half a gazebo, and it's like a shrine, and he got Christmas lights all around it with the Virgin Mary and white Jesus and all of that. That's one of the stumbling blocks, I guess you could say.
Yeah, man. Can one of y'all brothers give me Deuteronomy 28 and start at 60? 8. I don't know. Shalaki is 60. I think it's 64. I want. Let me see. No, you know what? I went too far down Shalaki family. Let me get that in Deuteronomy. It might be 47. 46, 47. Yeah, let's start at verse 48. It's Deuteronomy 28:48. And so when we understand this, like this whole, a lot of people be like, well, Northern Kingdom, no, the Mexican ain't us. And you see that with a lot of black people too. They defend that image because if it was about salvation, it wouldn't be, well, what about the white man? The reason why I say that is not saying that you don't have to be concerned about whether the white man can be saved or not. What I'm saying is, but why you don't ask about no other nation? Why is not Chinese man? What about the Chinese? Or what about the Africans? Because if you understand what Israel teach, we don't really teach that all our skin folks are kin folks, right? And so we never hear the defense of nobody else but white people because of colonialism, right? That's the first thing you're gonna defend, right? And so this is the reason it's a form of Stockholm syndrome. So give me that in Deuteronomy 20:48.
This Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Okay. So he said that he gonna put a yoke of iron upon our necks until we be destroyed. Right? And so this destruction is a mental thing. And it comes from slavery. He didn't free us. Emancipation didn't go down until the black folks was destroyed. It didn't get so they made sure black folks was destroyed. That we had it where we want them. Right? And so I'm gonna get back into the video, then we'll get into some text.
Sure.
So that's teachable here.
Yeah. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So which people have woolly hair on earth? You know what wool is? Wool is like a sheep. Like a sheep's hair. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of rough. Like rich people are like so-called black people, right? We have woolly hair.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So he had eyes like a flame of fire. So there's 2 strikes right there. You know what I'm saying? So his hair was woolly, his eyes was red like a flame of fire. Then he drove wine in operation. Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
So what color is brass? Brass is like a brownish color, like a tin color, right?
As if they burned in a furnace.
So you throw anything in the furnace, what color is going to come out? Black, right? So what color is Christ? Christ is, according to the Bible, what color is Christ? He's a black man, according to the Bible, right? So that's not the actual image of Christ. That's a false image.
The book of Daniel.
Okay, so he going into Daniel. We know the precepts, right? We know the precept packages, how we go about doing things, right? And so, but you see, I just want to fast forward the video just a little bit. I just want to see what the. Cause I haven't seen the whole video, but I want to see what the outcome was. Cause I don't think he gonna break. I don't think there's nothing they're gonna be able to tell him, man. But let's see.
The person who give it to me, that's what I keep it. Know how it look like. It's believing in something higher than me, something bigger than me, and that's what I represent. No matter how it look like, no matter how it feel about, you know.
Okay, give me John chapter 7, verse 32 real quick. Right.
So we know that, but let's go down. But you see, he ain't budging. He still ain't budging. Watch this.
You know, the person that loved you. Yes. To remind you of them. Yes. Right? So that's good. But remember, the scripture it says this though. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So you said you keep that, because that represents the love from them to you.
Someone who
But
tried to protect me.
right, but the scriptures.
He said, I got it to protect me. This is my protection. This image is my protection. I keep it so I could be protected. Almost done, y'all. Almost done. Then we gonna get into the text and then we out.
As you love God by keeping His commandments. So you got to make a decision. Do you love them more to where you're going to keep an idol, a curse, a graven image, or do you love God to where you're going to get rid of that?
I will keep it.
So you love them more than God?
This person, yes.
Whoa.
This person, yes.
Okay.
All right.
There's your answer
I
right
have to
there.
keep moving.
And we are done.
Mm.
He said, I'm gonna keep this image. I'm gonna keep this image. Y'all gonna take your black nationalists on down the road. I'm gonna keep this image. All right. So what do y'all brothers think, man? I mean, what y'all think about the brother? We understand, like I say, we don't I got a 6-year-old grandson, and he stay with us. And he told us the other day, man, he told my wife, he said, yeah, man, Jesus white, like your shot black. So I gotta go show him, I gotta explain it to him. And how he know Jesus white, man. It's mind-boggling of the doctrination of airways, bro. The things that they, have given having the power to give the beast the image of the beast to speak. So yeah, man, Jesus is white, but Yahweh Shah black. You can't make this stuff up. What do y'all think about the brother, man? Y'all, what do y'all think about the Northern Kingdom brother, man, and his mindset of that picture protecting him?
Hey, it's lucky. It's a saying, the children are our future. When we get caught young, man, we like sponges and we absorb that stuff. And, as we get older, we put what we think we know about the Most High with life experience, man, and all this stuff be mixed in and it turn into cement on us. We can't shake it for some reason. That different doctrine, like 2 Corinthians 11:4, man, he who come preaching a different another Jesus, who we have not preached. We hold on that stuff for dear life, man. I don't even think the jaws of life can cut it off. I hear though.
And it's scary, man. It's scary. It's scary to worship something that. I mean, you thinking that he's saying out of his own mouth, yeah, I know this probably not the right image.
Wow.
Right? He's saying it with yeah, I know this not the right image, but he said that, look, man, I love this more than any God you could tell me about. So what do y'all brothers think, Brother Dion, Brother Phineas? What do y'all stance on it?
Yeah, I think that's part of that's a very high contributing factor to why we're in this predicament right now. Because we want to lean on our own understanding. And, we don't care about the truth of the Bible. This brother seems very passionate about an image, and even if you give him the truth, he's still passionate about an image. So you can basically tell him, this right here is going to send you to hell, but he is going to still love that image. He has been programmed. Christianity is one heck of a drug. And for him, I don't know, man. Them brothers couldn't get to him. It might take some death threatening situation to get him up out of that. Like he might need to see Yahushua, you dig, an image of him in his dream or something to get him off of that image. Yeah.
And yeah, and it's scary to the point where like people like, well, you pull a Revelation 1:14 out of context, but what on our behalf, that is in the text, but the image that he holding on to is nowhere in the text. That's nowhere in the text, nowhere. But so they say, well, y'all pulling that out of context, that's I heard one preacher say that's Christ in his glorified form, and that's even worse. Right? That's even worse. If that's how he coming back glorified, and you saying, yeah, he coming back as a black man glorified, man, sign me up. And so and so but we see that the mindset of people, even you see, like I say, whatever you say that we put out of context, but it's there. And so some of the things, even it's out of context, you gotta address it because it's there. If you're saying that, well, that don't matter, you can't say it don't matter if you believe in the Bible. It's there. And so we gotta start addressing the elephant in the room, man. Why is slavery mentioned in the Bible? Why is it there? Why do you see Christ in the raw Revelation 13 and 9? Why is he saying this? It's there. It's there for a reason. And so whoever you say those people may be, that's debatable. But it's there. It's in the text, right? And so you can't deny that. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. But you can't be lukewarm when it comes to the text. You gonna eat the whole roll, or you gonna eat it in big in microbites. Right? And so either or, you're gonna get choked if you don't believe in it. Right? What do you think, brother Phoenix?
Well, he was attached to that thing, man, and it was, it was a little frightening to hear him say that. But at the same time, he not black. And he looks closer to Cedar Borgia than he does to a Yahweh shot that we put on those posters. Okay. And those, our Latino brothers, a lot of them, are, it's a lot of on the border, look white, they got the straight hair. So if we're using that and we're trying to give that to somebody, you kind of still in the same boat before, like you can't put that before you put we the same people. And look what we've been through and so forth. But if you put that colorism first, he not black. That's just reality. So if you just saying black, he not black. And that's why I was saying we have to put a definition on black, but I'm sure that whatever we come up with, I'm sure you can look at him and say, nah, he's not black. He's not a black person. And like Aqua was saying too about, that Santeria and all that stuff they be getting into. They put them white images out there, man. They, the Spaniards and that conquered them and had them speaking Spanish and so forth. Them folks was white. So that's, him holding the Cedar Borgia and we having a black-white conversation. He more on the other side of white. So I could see him holding on to that. I think he'll be more confused with the black image. And we could say, well, yeah, that's the truth though. But him taking that black image home is just as confusing to his kids as our kids taking the white image home.
Hey, point taken.
They gonna be like, what is that? Cause they, they don't kick it with us like that, man. We gotta be realistic, man. We don't kick it with the Latinos like that. We in the same area, but we know there's beef. There's beef between us. We go at each other more than we go at these other folks. You know what I'm saying? So we, I don't know how you could, if he gonna hang up a black man, a black Jesus in a Latino house. And that's why I was talking earlier about those Asians end up changing. They end up changing it and making them his. And we was talking about that earlier too, that, if you don't see yourself in the text, then it's hard to really get attached to that text. But if that's the case and we're reading Willie here, and we're describing someone and a people that don't look nothing like this person, then they still have they still kind of have a detail. And that's why some of these folks, some of Israel, are saying, well, no, man, all of us black. No matter what the mixing, we ain't mixed. All of us black, man. All of us are African. And just a last point on what he was saying, Killer Mike talking about, trying to push that black power stuff, man. Again, we got to deal with reality. We call it white supremacy. We talking about fighting against white supremacy. That means we're saying they are supreme. There's nothing in that barbershop that any of those folks manufactured. Everything they got on was manufactured and brought in here by these folks. Everything they eating was brought in here by them folks. Everything that they were. So you can talk about that, oh man, we the first people on the planet. Well, how that make us look if they the last people on the planet and they controlling the whole earth? So ain't nothing to brag on. So we got to figure out what we really trying to do. If we really trying to be successful on this earth, we got to keep those conversations separate, really. The success on the earth and the everlasting salvation, you got to keep those separate. Like that black power stuff, man, we ain't got no power. We ain't got no power. We say we slaves, we feel like slaves, we say we oppressed. That's what it is. But I yield.
Yeah, and good point, brother. And what we got to understand is it's even a divider between the Spaniards and the black African Mexicans. And I'm gonna pull up a video up on that, right? You have what you call black Africans. Watch this. I'm gonna pull it up real quick, right? And so when you look at the this brother, like brother Feeney was saying, when you look at this brother, and he looked more on the Spaniard side, because sometimes we think because somebody is Latino that make them automatically Israel, but that's not the case. Just like if somebody, because they look black, if you are what your father is, if we gonna use that premise that you are what your father is, and if a Mexican come from the Spaniard side, his father come from the Spaniard side, does that make him Issachar? I mean, I'm just saying, we gotta have these conversations, and we gotta be able to define it. We gotta do a better job of defining what it means to be Israel. But I'm gonna pull his video real quick.
Software that could make passive income for you. You've probably heard about chat.
Now what's going on? He's going in a village where the black Mexicans is, and it's away from civilization. It's away from civilization. It's away from everything. But watch these people. It's away from everything. Let me fast forward a little bit.
One good journey. Crazy but nice. The captain is doing it slow.
Okay, they done landed. They done landed. Let me get a pull up farther.
It used to be purely black, but due to a lot of tourism, like it has nice beaches, a lot of black people are actually moving from that area towards the interior. So later I'll have to go to the interior, because otherwise it's gonna be where I'm going right now. It's less black because
I'll fast forward
I
to
think we
where you
have
get
to
to
go in. Okay,
the city. Let's see.
let's say we go in.
Let's see.
Guys, so if you come to Chacao, you can stay here. Okay. Más tarde toma mi cambio. Oh, está aquí. Ok, ok.
Let's see, you want
Restaurante
to see.
aquí para allá.
Sí.
Todo derecho. Ok,
Let's
gracias.
see, where is it? Trying to see where you going to.
Just like that.
I love that the Google UX
I'm trying to
certificate
slack
is
family.
taught
I
by
didn't
Google
cue this one up,
employees. By the end of
but
the
it
certificate,
just
I had
came
four
to
case
mind
studies.
when he said that about him looking more like Sister Bozier.
Tume mucho. And somehow, I swear we are making it.
See,
Okay.
you had to go into
Captain.
another area. Watch. This is how
Okay.
it is, man. This is how far the
We're
Mexicans
going
is.
to look for
This is how
Afro
far the Mexicans.
Mexicans.
And see, Afro Mexicans. They call Afro
You
Mexicans.
know,
Here we
I
go.
did the last video here. It's very popular. It has over 1 million views on YouTube. And this guy now knows what I'm looking for. It's like Afro Mexican. Let's go, man. Look at this.
Now look how them people living over there, man. Look how they living. Look at their houses. All right.
Mi brother.
Ok, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Todo bien. ¿Estás de
Sí,
vuelta?
todo bien, sí.
Sí, estamos con
Tú
el
recuérdame. Sí, sí, sí. He remembers me, guys. Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Sí, quiero visitar la familia allá.
Sí, la sufrirá.
Sí.
Vas a ir con el carnal de Brian,
Sí.
hermanito de Brian.
Sí. Oh, él es.
Sí, él va a llevarte
Sí.
la moto.
Ok, pero ¿dónde es Brian ahora?
Brian no está, es que está trabajando.
Sí. Quiero saludar.
Más tarde.
Ok, más tarde.
I'm trying to fast forward, y'all.
Let's go, guys. Wow. Hello.
Still gotta go to the cities. It's a long way, man. It's a long way to where these folks at.
For the family, but let's go watch the video till the end. Maybe that's look at this, a lot of amazing art. Wow, this motorbike is big, bro. I still want to meet Brian, the
long
guy
video.
who we filmed the video of 1.3 million views. I don't know if it's 1.5 or 1.3 as per now. I want to meet him later in the evening so that
This is the video. Thing an hour long, man. This dude, this is ridiculous. Hold on. Oh my God. Okay, so it might be part 3. Schlock, y'all. I just want to show y'all this real quick. It might be that's part 2. It might be part 3. Shalaka family. Let me see. I want the part 3. Black Mexicans. That should be part. Let me see. Shalaka. Yeah. Let me get it real quick. Part 2 raw uncut. Afro Mexicans. Let me see if this one how this one look.
West Africans were brought to Mexico, and many died on the trip to Mexico. These Africans were brought to the port of Veracruz in Mexico. After reaching the port, the Spanish Europeans would sell them inland. This was at one time the biggest area for Afro-Mexicans, but now many live in Costa Chica region on the southeastern side of the country in other parts of Mexico. During the 3 centuries that European Spaniards ruled over Mexico, many Africans enslaved would die from harsh labor and bad living conditions. Mexico actually, for a time, in the early 1600s, had the largest population of enslaved Africans in Central, South, and North America. With numerous industries Africans were used in, many Africans mixed with other indigenous populations. Like other Africans throughout the Americas, many Afro Mexicans would escape to the mountains and create communities. Gaspar Yanga, one of the most famous escaped slaves, established the most significant free community in the state of Veracruz in 1570. This community evaded the Spanish for almost 40 years and is also known as San Lorenzo de los Negros. In 1932, this community was renamed in honor of Yanga. Afro Mexicans contributed everything in the War of Independence from Spain and Spanish rule for Mexico. It is said that Afro Mexicans in the Mexican army were the first to initiate the independence struggle. The Dark Army, or a sector of Mexican army during the Independence War, had many revolutionaries in it. One of the Afro Mexican revolutionaries, General Vicente Guerrero, became the second president of Mexico. Afro-Mexicans also helped.
Okay, what it is, I ain't mean to get on a tandem, but it is showing that you had Afro Americans, Afro Mexicans in Africa, in Mexico, right? And so when you look at the brother they was talking to, he might can't relate to those people because you gotta disconnect even between them, right? And so what do y'all brothers think? Y'all to go into if y'all don't feel like it, but yeah. But what do y'all think? You got brothers over there calling themselves Afro Mexicans.
Shalaki, it's just the same divide, just like African Americans. Instead of us just being Americans and everybody just being Americans, you got African Americans, you got Afro Mexicans. It's showing you that it's a divide, man. We not those people. It's a separation. We not them, and you can see that those folks escaped and got their own communities. Maybe something else I can look into further with that Lawinka dude, the Lorenzo, or I forget how you say his name, but him escaping in 1570 or something like that, in establishing the whole community until they later start fighting for their independence. But yeah, you definitely see a separation there.
Yeah, it's a divide. And I picked up a brother. He was saying, he was Mexican. He was like, man, he went over to Mexico. He was born in the States. His dad is is a native of Mexico, and so his dad took him home. And he like, man, I didn't realize how many black people was over there in Mexico. Now I would talk to him, but I ain't realized because he was from the States, but his dad was from Mexico and took him home, and he's seen all those Afro Mexicans. So let's get in some text real quick. I'm not gonna be long. I know I'm gonna just go into this one breakdown, man, of the Acts 13:1 to show you that this whole black thing is not a new concept. Whether who you say these people is, whatever, but it's not a new concept. So I want to kind of do a little comparison. Acts 13:1. I'm gonna get up out of here. So let's go to one of y'all brothers pull me Acts 13 and verse 1. Just read that, and we're gonna kind of go into the etymology of this stuff, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Acts 13 verse 1. Oh, let me pull up the text real quick. Let's pull up the text real quick. Share with the fam. Can y'all see that pretty good? That's big enough?
Come on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, read Acts 13 and verse 1, Brother Kashan.
And it's the book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger, and Lucicus of Cyrene, and Manaam, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul.
Shalakia. Yeah, and the water, brother. And so I just want to just kind of deal with Acts 13:1. I know Berean and them did something on this Acts 13:1. And so when you look at the Acts 13:1, it's a couple of things that stood out for me, right? So when it says, now there were in the church that were at Antioch certain prophets. And so we see right here, prophets is not just of old time. You even had prophets during the time of the first century. Right? It says certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon. So we're going to deal with Barnabas and Simeon, but let's see what that prophet is. Because for me, the Most High word does not change. The dispensation change. Sometimes, the Most High allows certain things to happen during dispensation time. But he's pretty consistent when it comes to his word. He's pretty consistent who he chooses to teach his word. We went into earlier the 1 Corinthians 1, starting at verse 20, where it was talking about how he gonna choose the foolish things in the world to confine the wise. Right. So let's get that at Amos real quick. Let's get at Amos. Amos 20:11. Just read that. Amos 20:11. It says certain prophets. So let's see this prophets. This prophets. It stood out to me because when we see the prophets of the Lord, like we know but he was a priest. But we seen the prophets of the Lord. They no 9 times out of 10 they was Israel. Right? I don't know a prophet that was considered a prophet that wasn't Israel. But let's get that prophet thing right. Let's go to that Amos 20:11 real quick.
This is Amos 2. I raised up I raised up of your sons for prophets, and of your young men for Nazarites. It is not even thus, O ye children of Israel, saith the Lord. But ye gave
So he said, "Is it not thus, O ye children of Israel?" So Israel is the nation that God chose to lead the other nations to Him. Period. All right. And so he said, "Is not thus, ye children of Israel?" So when you see any certain prophets as teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that are called Niger, right? And so let's get some of these words, right? First, I'm gonna deal with who was Barnabas. Who was Barnabas right here, and then I'm gonna deal with Simeon. Then we're gonna deal with the word Niger, right? So let's go to the blue letters. I pulled the blue letter up, right? And so when I pull the blue letter up, I'm gonna pull that Acts 13:1 up, right? And let's deal with Barnabas first, because that's the first name it called. So let's deal with Barnabas first. Let's see what Barnabas was. Who was Barnabas? Okay. So Acts 13:1, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look up Barnabas right here, right? Barnabas G921, and his name is it's Barnabas, Shalaki, y'all. Barnabas. Barabbas, right? You gotta let it flow off your tongue a little bit. Barabbas, right? You gotta flow off your tongue. All right. So listen, okay. So it says Barabbas, right? Son of rest. That's what Barabbas means, right? It said the surname of Joseph or Joseph, a Levite. He was a Levite, right? A native of Cyprus. He was a distinguished Christian teacher and companion and colleague of Paul. So this is who Barnabas was, right? He was a Levite, right? But let's get that real quick. Let's get Acts 4:36. So Barabbas was a Levite, but the text tell you that, right? And so this is what I'm saying. The text is so far is right on point. The Most High said when they call them prophets and teachers as Barabbas, this is because he was a Levite, right? But let's get that. Let's get that in Acts real quick. Acts 4:36.
Con, it's the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse 36. It say, and Joseph, you could pronounce that different way. And Joseph, who by the apostles was surnamed Barnabas, which is being interpreted the son of consolation, a Levite, and of the country of Cyprus, having land, sold it, and brought the money and laid it at the apostles' feet.
And that's because yeah, right, you're right, it could be pronounced both ways, right? But that's because Barabbas was a Levite, and remember the Levites was the one that was getting these because they didn't have no land. The Most High was their inheritance. So their job was to teach Israel, and Israel was supposed to get a part of those tithes to the Levites, right? The goods, because Levites that have no land, so the 10% of our tithes went toward the Levites, whether it was the Levites, the regular priests, or the sons of Aaron, which was the high priest. So, but here you see that it's becoming a changing of gods, if you will, when it comes to the teachers. Oh, because at first it was Levites, but here now you see that this responsibility going to it's called out for all Israel, no matter what tribe you come from. That endless genealogy, it don't matter about that now. Right now, as long as you're part of this a part of this core, this is what need to be done. So you see, Barabbas is Barnabas or whatever. is a Levite, just like the scripture says. So Simeon, right? I looked at Simeon, and Simeon was interesting for me, right? Because it's a couple of people named Simeon in the text, right? Right. And so let's see who this Simeon was. Let's see who this Simeon was. I'm gonna go to Simeon. Hold on, Shalak, I went too far. Let's go to Simeon. Where is that? Over there. Church Antioch. Okay, right here. Prophets and teachers, Barnabas, and Simeon. So when you look at Simeon right here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and pronounce it. Simeon, right? And so it says, right here it says, translation Strong's G4826, in the following manner: Simeon 6 times, Simeon 1 time, Peter, right? 1 time Peter, but it's a couple of times, but I'm gonna show it, right? So here it is. So when you go here, it says, Shimon, said the same as G4613, Shimeon, the name of 5 Israelites. Simeon. So we see that these are all Israelites. All the ones who got this name is what? From the nation of Israel. But let's keep going. I'm gonna show you where it's placed at. Right there, the same name. Okay, you got it right here. Simeon, surname, okay, Niger. One of the teachers of the church at Antioch, Acts 13:1. Look right here. You see right here, Peter, the apostle, Acts 15:14. So that name right there is still used as Peter the apostle, 15:14. So one of y'all brothers give me that Acts 15:7-14, and let's see who this Simeon was. The same Simeon you see is called Niger in Acts 13:1. All right. So give me that Acts 15. Let's go to Acts 15 and verse 14. Verse 14. Shalaki, verse 7. 15 and 7, Shalaki.
You know you're not sharing your screen, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Okay. So y'all didn't see the blue letter, right?
No, we didn't see that.
Oh, my bad, family. Let me stop sharing. My bad. Thank you, brother. Let's go there. All right. So right here, can y'all see it now? Okay, I'm sorry, brother. Sorry, the water, brother. Okay, so right here it's showing that the word Simeon. Right here it says, I'm going into strong definitions, and it says Shimeon, for the same as G4613, Simeon, the name of 5 Israelites, Simeon and Simeon, right? And it says right here, I'm going to show you, right? Let's go to the point I was making earlier. It says, where was it? Right there. Lock your family. Right here. 4. Simeon, surname Niger, one of the teachers of the church of Antioch. Shalaki, what's up? Okay. Surname Niger, one of the teachers of the church of Antioch. Peter the apostle, Acts 15 and 14. So you see that Simeon right there in Acts 13 and 1 is also Acts 15 and 14. But we're gonna start at let's go to Acts 15 and 7-14 and see who was that referring to. That was called Niger. Then we're gonna get the word Niger. Brother D, I'm gonna put you on mute because it's static a little bit, but I'll unmute you, brother.
Okay.
Well, just mute yourself, brother. Just mute yourself.
Read this, but you gonna mute it.
Oh no, what's that, bro?
I was gonna read.
Oh, you gonna read? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's let me share the screen back with you. Let me share the screen back with you. Let's get back the Bible. Okay, so let's go to Acts 5:7. I got it. All right, I'm ready, brother.
15 and 7. And when there had been much disputing.
You breaking up, Al. You might have to mute out, bro. You
Yeah, can one of y'all brothers get that for me? Acts 15:7.
God. Book of Acts, chapter 15, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And when there had been much disputing, Peter rose up and said unto them, Men and brethren, ye know how that a good while ago God made choice among us, that the Gentiles by my mouth should hear the word of the gospel and believe.
Mm-hmm.
And God, which knoweth the heart, bear them witness, giving them the Holy Ghost, even as he did unto us, and put no difference between us and them, purifying their hearts by faith.
Mm-hmm.
Now therefore, why tempt ye God to put a yoke upon the neck of the disciples, which neither our fathers nor we were able to bear? But we believe that through the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, we shall be saved, even as they.
Mm-hmm.
Then all the multitude kept silent and gave audience to Barnabas and Paul, declaring that miracles and wonders God had wrought among the Gentiles by them. And after they had held their peace, James answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken unto me. Simeon have declared how God at the first did visit the Gentiles to take out of them a people for his name.
And so you see up there when he first started talking in 7, it said Peter, but then when James started describing what Peter was trying to articulate to the brothers, he called him Simeon, which was the same person that was called Niger in Acts 13:1. You see it in the blue letters telling you that's Peter, right? And so let's see what that word Niger means, and it's just only to bring clarity, right? That yeah, these folks are black. Just showing you that, look, man, Peter was Israelites. You see Barnabas an Israelite, and let's see what that word Niger mean, right? Let's get that word Niger. I'm going back. I'm going to stop sharing this right here. I'm going back into the blue letter. All right, let's go back into the blue letter and let's put out that word. All right, let's go to that word Niger. And like I say, this is nothing to do with salvation, right? It's just to bring clarity, right? And why, and the way that IYC take an approach of making everything about skin color, is that necessary? I mean, if some of our people with the mindset like it is, I'm just saying, I'll ask the brothers that after this little thing about what Niger mean, is it necessary to talk about skin tone? Here we go.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
So it's pronounced in fair use. No, I hope I'm not offending nobody, but the word is nigger, but it's spelled with a N-E-E-G apostrophe dash E-R, nigger. But that's only for clarity, right? That's only to give us the understanding of the word. And right here, it says, number 1, it says outline of biblical usage. Nigger equals, and as bold as day, black. As bold as day, black. You know what I mean? In certain texts, they call them black men. It's a black man, right? So it's just about, you see right here, a Latin name, black, Niger, surname of the prophet Simeon, Acts 13:1. All right, so we see that, man, these folks was, these people was people of color. We see that the skin tones, they was black people according to the text. And so, but does white supremacy suppress that? Can you serve a God of color? Can you serve a black God? Can you serve a Niger? Can you serve a Niger, man? I'm just saying. So what do y'all brothers think, man? I just wanted to go. I had a little couple of things, but I kind of went long with the videos. But what do y'all brothers think, man? IUIC, their main purpose is to tell you how black Christ was. I mean, all of us teach it to a degree, right? But nobody teach it like IUIC. Like, it's like the old CD4, black, I'm black, I'm black, 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 I'm black, black, and I'm black, and I'm black, y'all.
Right.
They drive it home that the Jews was black, that Christ was black, that God was black. They drive it home like nobody else business. So is it necessary? I mean, each individual. No, it's no right or wrong answer. Just y'all a perspective. And if not, then tell me why it's not necessary, or if it's necessary, tell me why it is. I'll go. I see Brother Michael. I'll go down the line. Brother Michael, what do you think?
For why is the image important?
Yeah, is it important? IUIC go into the image. They go into it, like nauseum, ad nauseum. They go into it like, hey man, that's your forefather. He black. Everybody black. The angels black. Everybody black now. And so they do that nausea. And every time, and I'm gonna put this on the record. Every time I see brothers and friends, the first thing I ask them, they say, "Shalom, brother." I say, "Who you with? IUIC?" I seen the brother today. I said, "Who you with? IUIC?" He just laugh and put his head down and like in a gesture and be like, "Yep." And so and that's all I run into is IUIC members. That's all I run into. 90.9% of the time, I run into IUIC members. IUIC has been effective with this method, and so I'm just asking, is it necessary?
Yeah, I think it's necessary because what come with that image come a different doctrine and understanding. See what I'm saying? Like brother was saying earlier. Yeah, that image very important because we all know Christ came in the flesh. It said if you like the scriptures say, I don't want to butcher it, but if you don't believe Christ came in the flesh, that antichrist, man. So it's just amazing to me when people sit around and say, what does it matter? It matters greatly. Because with that other image come a different doctrine. But I yield out.
Kind, I'm gonna pull that precept for you, brother. That you was calling. Let me look it up real quick. It's a second. It's 1 John. I know 1 John, I think, and verse 4. Let's see. Shalakia. It said confess Jesus. Okay, yeah. It says 1 John 4 and verse 1, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the spirit of God. Every spirit that confess that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confess not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already it is in the world. So there you go, man. Every spirit that say that Christ didn't come in the flesh is of that Antichrist. Brother Dion, man, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I definitely think it matters for a couple of reasons. For first and foremost, for truth's sake, if we are speaking the truth of the Bible, then we have to speak as the Bible reports it. And for those people that have been brainwashed all their lives, I think they need to know that they've been lied to. And for the people that don't really read the Bible, it's something for them to something they can see themselves in the Bible, and understand the people of that those people are ancestors. So it's definitely important for all of those three reasons, and beside the fact that with that other image comes another doctrine. You got the oracles of God, and speak the truth of the Bible, then speak the truth. To paint over it and white it, just tell the truth. And I yield.
Okay, and then for what I got, man, that the three reasons is for truth's sake, man, and so the brother feel that the image, the image is important. Knowing who you serving, knowing who you worshiping, and knowing they're part of your genealogy, so you can come back to the true, like Killer Mike was saying, whatever they was serving before, Christianity and Islam, right? But then it was ironic he was quoting a lot of Elijah Muhammad, but that's a whole nother conversation. Brother Phineas, you up, brother?
It could. It's helpful in that there has been whitewashing, and when we look at certain images, well, the Russian icons, they painted them this way, and in the Catholic Church they start painting them this way. But ask yourself, did Israel ever paint any of the prophets? Did Israel ever paint anybody and make an image of anybody? Did God ever tell you to do that? Did Solomon have that in the temple? Was when he built the temple, was there any kind of image up there? Was there any kind of painting? Has we ever found any wall paintings by Israelites showing that Christ was a black man? I'm in class, man. I'll be right out. Oh, okay. I'll be right out. So do we have any, did that happen for us then? Were we doing that? And I haven't seen it yet. Any images that we seen early Israelites painted and made it of. So if I haven't seen that, it didn't matter to them back then. They knew what it was. That's what it was. For any other prophets throughout the text. But again, when you do have the whitewashing, you have to undo that. Because a lot of our people are saying what Killer Mike is saying. They're using that as an excuse. Really, that ain't their excuse, but they using that as a shield to say, well, I ain't gonna follow nothing no white man gave me. And using that as a shield because they don't want to follow it anyway. It ain't, because reality is when I thought he was white, I didn't have a problem with him being white. I was just trying to be obedient. And I knew I had to be obedient. I knew I had to do certain things, not what I know now, but I wasn't saying I ain't gonna follow him because he's white. I was going in there following that white man, buying jewelry with that white man on there on the cross. So I think people use that as an excuse, and because they do, you have to do that. But too, I just want us to remember too. I want us to evaluate too that was that something we did? Was that were we painting images of individuals? But you.
Yeah, and like I said, it's no wrong. It ain't no right or wrong answers, man. Just everybody's opinion, and yeah, a lot of things that got done over the time, depending on what was going on, and so, like I say, for me, it doesn't help with salvation. I think that because of being colonized and being under the under the thumb, under the foots of Europeans, I think that's what that's why IUIC is so validated, right? From the point of people is being drawn to them because they being a voice of really the voiceless. Things that people are saying, I want to say, IUIC saying, and so I think that's what is that's the big draw, man. But shout out to IUIC, man. Shout out to the brothers that's doing the work. Number love on this side of all the brothers out there doing the work, man. We might not always agree doctrinally, but nevertheless, y'all are brothers, and we love y'all, man, and keep doing the work. And so, yeah, man. Well, so don't forget to like and subscribe, man. Don't forget to go to Brother Phoenix channel to like and subscribe, man. Fair use, fair use, fair use. It's all over the screen. But y'all brothers got any last words before we get up out of here?
Oh yeah, bro.
Okay. What about you, brother Phoenix? Y'all good? Okay. Well, all praises and glory, honor goes to the Most High God, man. Tomorrow we'll be on the same channel, 1:30. We going into work-based salvation. Most High willing, work-based salvation. Does it take work to be saved? Does you have to do any kind of work to be saved, or can you just believe on Christ and be saved? So Most High willing, 1:30 tomorrow on the same on Bring It Out TV. Brother Phoenix, where you gonna be at tomorrow, man? You going out tomorrow? Or you gonna be are you still trying to get the stuff right with your speakers? Yeah, I think something going on with Brother Phoenix. It's Mike. But yeah, so we going into work-based salvation. What does it take to be saved, man? It does you just gotta believe on Christ, or hey man, does it take some things that we gotta do to be saved? So if it's nothing else, man, Most High willing, we'll see y'all tomorrow. And brother, and before I forget, Israel, next Friday at Eve is the Day of Atonement. So keep that in mind. Next Friday Eve is the Day of Atonement, and so we gotta on Tuesday we'll go over the Day of Atonement, some of the preparations, some things you need to do that day to fast for 24 hours. So we gonna show you some preparations the day before of fasting, and so you can be able to last through the whole fast. So this Tuesday on our home conference call, we'll be going over the Day of Atonement as well. But we also we started Daniel's the book of Daniel's this Tuesday, Most High willing. And don't forget to like and subscribe over there at Crystal Power Israelites on Wednesday at 7:30. My brother Eleazar, and these are my brothers, Brother Michael, Brother Dion, Brother Phoenix, and we out.
Shalom.
Shalom.